Well, it's a strange one today. We've officially reached the halfway stage of Glory Hunter. 10 seasons have happened so far. 10 more to go. Can we complete the challenge in the next 10 years? Fingers crossed we can. We're here for a second season with Manchester United, and today's episode is going to be a transfer special. Tell you all about the ins and outs, and at the end of it we'll have a nice wee game up against Manchester City to round it all off. Yes, hello, welcome into Living Sports here for another episode of Glory Hunter on Football Manager 22. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. We've already had 10 seasons of Glory Hunter, so you don't want to miss any more of it. So subscribe so you do not miss an episode, and leave a like on the video if you are enjoying. Let's celebrate the halfway stage. Leave a like. Much appreciated. We're just actually having a wee look at our overview of our first 10 years in charge of any clubs. In fact, 4 clubs and 3 national manager jobs. It's quite an interesting screen to look at. We have bought 127 players for a total cost of £2.36 billion. I think probably about half of that has been at Manchester United, and I'm not even exaggerating. We've sold 189 players for £1.99 billion, ridiculous amounts of money. We spent £123 million on Mustafa. Yeah, he's pretty good though, isn't he? We've only spent 11 days on holiday. I'm not quite sure what those days were. I can only assume it was during a time that we didn't have a job, but we've had a job for most of the time, so I'm not sure what. We've earned £31 million over the last 10 years. Could probably retire if we wanted to, but we do not want to. We want to add to those 10 career cups and 3 career league titles as well. A win percentage of 68% is not too bad when you think some of the teams we've taken over when they've been a bit lower down in the league. So yeah, pretty good job for us so far. Halfway stage of Glory Hunter. Let's look forward though to this second half. And we're going to start with some transfers here in the summer of our second season in charge of Manchester United. Obviously, we've already won the league. We don't need to worry about that, though I'm going to show you Manchester Derby just to have a game at the end of this episode. But we don't need to worry about the league. You won't see too much of the league this year. The FA Cup, however, that's very, very important. We need to win that this year. So you will see a lot of FA Cup football in this season of Glory Hunter. We're in the Champions League as well, but we've already won the Champions League now with Manchester United. So tomorrow's episode, there's going to be some Champions League games. And you'll see why if you stick around for tomorrow's episode. I have an idea. I'm just going to leave it there for you. But anyway, let's get into it. We had a fairly busy transfer window yet again. Let's start with the outs. Nico, 29 years of age, Spaniard, central midfield player. He is away to Chelsea. We got £45 million for him. He played a lot of games off the bench for us. You will see when you see the ends that happen why we've got rid of a central midfielder. And I just felt as if he was probably one of the worst that we could still get some money for. £45 million for Nico. It's annoying he's at Chelsea, to be honest. He's doing fairly well since he's moved there. But he's getting toward the end of his career. We've replaced him with a better player. It's fine. To be honest, there wasn't that many outs. Just a few young players went out on loan and a few kind of worse players being sold. But there's only 2 big outs. Nico, we mentioned. And Maximilian Thielmann is away to Inter Milan as well. He went for £62 million. He made £5 million profit on him, even though he only played 16 times for us last year. He wasn't happy with his lack of game time. He wasn't going to get a game really for us. So we've sold him to Inter Milan. Quite sad. We had him at Villarreal, we had him at Monaco, and we had him at Man United. Just wasn't quite good enough for us here. So away to Inter Milan he goes. So that's 2 players away. We made about £100 million worth of sales. And we've spent a lot of money. That's all I'm going to say. Felix Burke, one I think I mentioned the tail end of last season. We ended up signing him just after the January window finished. That was that big mix-up with Wijndal leaving, so we ended up with Guindo playing left-back for most of the second half of the season. Anyway, Burke is our new first-choice left-back. We signed him for £107 million from Leverkusen. Look at those stats. He's pretty good. Probably worth £107 million. Not often you get to say that about someone, but I would say he is. He's a absolutely world-class left-back. It's going to be exciting to see him. Another player we've brought in for just £2 or £3 million is Scott McTominay, added to the homegrown at the club quota for a couple of £1 million. I thought he was a solid option to have as a backup in central midfield. I also let Nico go. He wasn't the main replacement for Nico. We had another one come in. We'll mention him in just a minute. But a good backup option as well in the squad. 34 years of age. Has a wee bit of experience in there. Him and Ndidi is kind of backup defensive midfield options. Pretty good. Basically, McTominay is a replacement for Thielman. We've managed to make about a £60 million profit. And we've got a person who's homegrown at the club. So a pretty good swap for my mind at least. We obviously just really had Rashford as a striker last year. Cedric Willett played as a backup striker, but he's really not a striker. He's more of a winger and an attacking midfield player. So we have brought in another, and it's a name you might recognise if you remember some of the young players we signed at Villarreal. Adrian Illier, the Romanian striker. Look how good he is. He's pretty decent. We paid £100 million for him when we were at Villarreal. He cost us 2.8. Well, since then, since we've left Villarreal, basically, he's done pretty well over the last 3 years. 16 goals, 17 goals, 25 goals. He's been pretty outstanding at Villarreal, become one of the best strikers in the world. And now we've bought him for £100 million. Scored 2 goals in his first 3 games for us so far. Pretty good, I would say, and worth £100 million. Again, 2 players we spent £100 million on. And they've probably both been worth it. This is a very strange bit of Glory Hunter when we have all this money available like we do here at Man United. I have to say, I'm expecting it will not be quite as easy when we go to other clubs later on down the line. But we'll take advantage of it while we're here. We're pushing for that FA Cup. And hopefully, Illier does the job, scores some goals. He's actually been starting instead of Rashford because he has a better striker than Rashford. So I feel bad for Rashford losing his place to Illier. But look, he's pretty good. Another option I just couldn't really turn down for the price he was is Florian Duron here. He's £67 million. He's come from Nice as a backup option in the wide area. It's pretty nice physically. He could perhaps do with improving technically a little bit. Some of his mental stats are not too bad either. Not the best player, but a solid backup enough for us. He's played 2 times for France and scored 3 goals, so he knows how to finish, certainly, even though his finishing's only 11. Good option that can cover across the front there. There was a chance Nusa was going to get sold for £100 million, so if he did, Duron would have been his backup. But then we've got lots and lots of cover in these attacking positions. Shouldn't be worried about people struggling for fitness this season. And the man who arrived, which is why I was happy for Nico to go, was Frenkie de Jong on a free transfer from Barcelona. He looks solid. I know he's 34, but he looks solid. He's starting in that defensive midfield role. He's going to push Ndidi out at the start of this season. Maybe Ndidi will get his place back. You never know. But yeah, Frenkie de Jong, solid central defensive midfield option. Look at those mental stats. They're absolutely outstanding. These technicals are maybe starting to decline, but he's still solid enough. He's very, very good. Another midfield option that we signed, only because he was only, 12, £13 million, something like that? Yes, from Real Madrid, was Ton Koopmeiners. He played 28 times for Real Madrid last year. We've signed him after he was in the transfer list. Happy to bring him in. Solid option, similar to McTominay. You know, they can play across those 3 central defensive positions, centre-back, defensive mid, and in central midfield. We've got strength and depth now. Last year, I feel as if we were just a couple of players short from having a full strength and depth in the squad. So we've got that this year, especially with some of the older heads we've brought in. The experience should hopefully help us get over the line in those cup competitions. And lastly, adding to the homegrown in the nation cohort, Alfie Dorrington, someone who started his career at Tottenham. He's been out on loan at lots of clubs, went to Leeds and then Rangers. We've paid £29.5 million for him. He's a very, very solid centre-back. Just thought we'd bring someone else in as a centre-back option who was English, homegrown in the nation, helped out with that quota a lot. Solid player. Happy to have him here. He's probably not going to play that much, but he's here. And for the start of the season, we won the Community Shield, beating City 3-0. We beat Tottenham in the European Super Cup 4-1. And then the start of the league season was very strange. A draw against Arsenal, a win against Brentford, and a draw against Chelsea. A couple of those games we didn't play well, and it means that we're currently sat mid-table, but we are unbeaten at this stage, and we've had 2 tough games up against Arsenal and Chelsea. I would say we've had tough games, but Arsenal haven't won a game yet this season, and Chelsea have only won 1, so maybe not that tough a game. Who knows? Remember, we beat Chelsea in the Champions League final last year, so they're not bad at all. Klopp is now in charge of Arsenal, so it's a pretty decent coaching staff there. So 2 tough games, I'll say that. Let's see if we can push on in the league. Today we play against City. I'm going to show you that game, otherwise this will be a fairly short transfer special. But as you know, we're not going to show you too much of the league this year. We've already won the league, so we don't need to worry about it. What we need to concentrate on is the FA Cup. The FA Cup obviously is coming in January, so we'll try and get there as quick as we can. And as I mentioned, we're going to do some Champions League games in tomorrow's episode. And I'll explain tomorrow why that's the case. I'm not going to spoil it today. You've got to stick around and watch that episode, the next episode I should say, to see why I'm going to be showing you that. So anyway, today we play up against Manchester City. We do have an injury to Michelle, which means the team is not the full strength that it would normally be. But it's pretty full strength. Henderson in goal, Fofana, Mustafa at the back with Livramento and Burkey in the full-back positions. De Jong, Bellingham and Stansfield in midfield. Niang will cover for Michelle on the right, Sancho on the left and Ilie up front. We've got a brilliant bench of players like Rashford and Willett and Nusa and Ndidi and Guindo and Durand. Yeah. Look at those average ratings. This team should comfortably win this league yet again. And hopefully we can do that with this game against Man City. Imagine that, first 4 games of the season we have to play Arsenal, Chelsea and City. Getting all the tough games out of the way with, I suppose. Well, first 25 minutes of this game, there's not been a highlight yet, but in the other game that's going on tonight, Leeds are already ahead 3-1 at Newcastle. What an exciting game that would be if we were watching that one. But instead, we're watching this, I'll be honest, a bit of a snooze fest, isn't it? 40 minutes gone now, still no highlight in the game. We've reached the end of the first half without a highlight. Well, I said I was showing you this game so that we had a bit of a longer episode, but it's not going to be the case if we don't actually get to see anything. I'll say we've got to be better in front of goal. Let's see what our team think of that. We're going to shout a little demand more as well. Defensively, we've been very solid there. Going forward, we've been a little bit more disappointing. Well, first highlight of the game for us here. Sancho hits it. It's off the top of the bar. We're going to make subs. Let's be honest. We're not playing well enough. Niang is struggling for some fitness. We bring on Duran for him, and Rashford can come up front for Ilie. And looking further back, Stansfield's not having a good game. So Ravella can come on for him. Confirm those subs. Triple change of 25 minutes to go. What could go wrong, hey? As Foden plays it back into Saka, who switches a ball. It's cleared away though, and Bellingham has it. Finds Sancho. We're on the breakaway now. Sancho. Ravella with it now. Duron. Back to Bellingham. Over to Livramento. And Bellingham. Duron. Rashford. Over to Sancho. And it's just over the bar. 20 minutes to go. And Kelleher plays this one out. Kelleher, who's a backup keeper for Liverpool in real life. I wonder what he's doing in this Manchester City goal today. Is Ederson maybe retired? I don't know. De Jong's got the ball though. Back into Ravella now. Sancho out to Burkey, who's on the overlap on this left-hand side. He reaches the byline. He crosses it in. Duron with a header. It's just over the bar. We've dominated the last 5 or 10 minutes, but we've not managed to take advantage of it. Could this be one of those games where we end up losing it at the last minute? That'd be very, very frustrating indeed. There's just over 5 minutes to go. We're going to go attacking and see if that makes any changes. City play the ball into the middle, and Saka has it now. He tries to get to the byline. He gets challenged by Livramento, and we clear it away though. But Rosbach has it back into Messias and Gravenberch. And over to Amy on this right-hand side. He gets past his man. Can he have a shot? He does. I think. It wasn't very good, whatever it was, well wide of the goal. And are we going to end up drawing another league game here? We are indeed. A 0-0 bore draw. Well, I said I was going to give you something to make the episode a little bit longer, a little bit more exciting. Well, that was not it, I'm afraid. We've walked away with that one. 0-0 draw. And look at that, we're only up to 7th at the moment. But, I mean, lots of teams around us haven't played yet this game week, so that could be a 1 in 3 draws in the first 4 games. At least we're unbeaten still, but far too many draws to start this year. Well, anyway, I mentioned in the next episode we're going to come back for some Champions League action. I'll explain why in that next episode. We have drawn Sporting Club Bruges and Inter Milan in the Champions League. So we'll be playing against those teams, and we'll tell you why in the next one. So if you have enjoyed this one, it's a bit of a short one, I suppose. Transfer special and a boring 0-0 draw against Man City, then please leave a like on the video. It really does help us out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you do not miss a thing. We're into the second half of this Glory Hunter save. It's getting to the business end of the save. Can we get all 15 trophies that we need by the end of our 20-year career? Let's continue this save on and let's find out. So if you have enjoyed that save, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and until the next one, see you then.